And we are back on the BS Report. Kevin Bartnett here and Jonathan Stanko. So, John, did you happen by any chance, did you happen to catch the Philadelphia Eagles Washington Redskins matinee last night in Washington?
I was actually at Buffalo Wild Wings, chowing down some wings. It's 21st birthday, so yes, that happened. The first half of the game, Chip Kelly's offense looked absolutely unstoppable. Vikovic was a machine. LaShawn McCoy had some diddy bops that I had not seen before. But the second half was a different story.
You know, in the first half, it was 26-7 in the first half, correct?
Yes.
And then when they made it 33-7, I was like, you know what? They don't need to score the rest of the game. They may actually. I think they should take it easy for the rest of the game. They didn't score at the end for the rest of the game, and they almost lost.
And it got a little bit too close for comfort.
It did. I think, honestly, though, people are saying, you know what, they can't do this all year. They'll be too tired. I beg to differ.
I honestly think, though, in the second half, their offense got tired.
You know, Michael Vick, he was a machine. Brent Selleck had a couple big plays.
Yes, he did.
They're kind of resembling like the Eagles teams that won divisions
of old. The Eagles team of
basically,
old.
this is the dream team. This is the team that was supposed to be the dream. They were supposed to be. I kept saying though, they made small moves in the offseason, like that no one realized, but they made good moves. Like Kerry Williams, that was a great interception.
Yes, it was.
That was a great interception he had last night. Connor Barwin. They made a lot of small moves that are going to make a big impact. But I think that they're going to really miss Jeremy Maclin, though, because Riley Cooper didn't get targeted once last night.
Well, I think he got targeted, but I think I think he only got targeted a couple times. No receptions, though. No receptions.
Minimal impact in the game last night. But
we'll serve some right after his comments. That's a separate note, but I
mean, I personally, I think what he said was wrong, obviously, but I don't never really want to get into it, obviously.
Exactly.
You don't know how some people take that stuff, so. But I think that this is going to be a dominant offense for weeks. I think it's going to be too hard for teams to figure out.
Okay.
I don't know what defense in the league. Maybe the only defense I can see right now that maybe can stop them is San Francisco.
You think San Francisco?
That has the speed to keep up with them, honestly.
Okay.
And they don't play San Francisco this year.
Now, I want to just run this by Seattle. Their secondary is tough, and their cornerbacks will beat up the receivers of the Eagles. Eagles receivers aren't big. They're fast. They're all fast. You saw Deshaun Jackson burn some routes last night.
Right.
This is my argument. Seattle would upset the timing so much of the wide receivers in that offense that I think they would give the Eagles trouble.
The only thing is, though, what did the Eagles, the Washington have nothing of last night, basically?
What did Washington have nothing of last night?
Pass rush.
That's true. They had nothing. Michael Vick
Seattle's very good on the pass
pocket.
rush, but Philadelphia got a very good offensive line. They moved Jason Peters over to the right.
Yep.
Inserted fourth overall pick Lane Johnson, left tackle. Evan Mathis is one of the best guards in football. He doesn't get enough credit.
I don't know who that is, so you're going to teach me.
Yeah.
But that obviously doesn't get enough credit for me because I didn't know who that was.
Evan Mathis is a very. I watch the Eagles a lot because they play my Giants all the time and they're a rival, so I have to pay attention to them a lot. But they gave him a lot of time, and the Redskins by no means have a scrub defensive line.
No, they don't.
You know who I was impressed was Ryan Kerrigan.
Yes, very good. He was.
Brian Arakpo was nowhere. Did he even play last night?
I did not hear his name.
If he played last night, I don't know if he played last night actually, but I thought I saw him, but I didn't hear his name once. Stephen Bowen, I don't think he played either actually.
I mean, the thing with Washington, I think the big storyline obviously was RG3 heading in.
Yeah.
RG3 in the first half, I think you could see the knee was bothering him. I think you could.
He had no zip on the ball.
No zip on the ball. I think he was scared to get hit, and he was getting hit. The Eagles had a pass rush. They were getting to him in the first half. But I think in the second half he woke up. I don't know if someone just told him in the locker room to man up and just rub some dirt on it and be fine.
I'm surprised that Shanahan sent him back out there.
You're surprised he sent him back out there?
Kirk Cousins, when Kirk Cousins came in last year, he played really well. And he played really well in the games he started.
I know.
So, Kirk Cousins has already established himself as a capable backup.
Yeah.
And I took him on fantasy, actually, because I really do think RG3 is going to get hurt.
Okay.
Just with the way I saw him last night, in
the second half, though, he played really well.
He played very well. He was making crisp throws.
Yeah.
But he was saying stuff like, he thought that he got lucky on the touchdown pass to Hankerson that made it a 7-point.
That was the one that was over the safety, right?
That was terrible coverage on the safety.
Yeah, terrible safety, but also I still think a really good throw.
He made great throws in the second. He played much better.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what makes RG3 is his legs, though, and he doesnesn't have that knee.
He doesn't have it anymore.
He doesn't.
He's not mentally there. I didn't see him mentally there.
I don't think he's physically there. Honestly, is he Is he honestly? I mean, he has a better arm than Cousins, but like without the legs though, they're not that far apart.
No,
They're really not.
Well, I mean,
Cousins obviously can't run the read option, but Robert Griffin can't run the read option right now either.
Well, I think Mike Vick showed him how to run the read option because he had 41 read option plays, and LaShawn McCoy had over 150 all-purpose yards. Michael Vick had some rushing yards,
I think
too.
Mike Vick has honestly set the standard for the modern-day running quarterback, though.
He's an all-time NFL leading rusher.
You could say Randall Cunningham, Warren Moon, maybe. I think Michael Vick's the real guy.
No, when Michael Vick came into the Falcons,
he changed the culture of a quarterback.
Oh, he did.
You know?
And now while RG3 is now like redefining it with Russell Wilson, Colin Kaepernick, those running quarterbacks now they're redefining the new norm. Michael Vick
started
the new era.
Yeah.
And now teams are just remolding that and trying to extend it.
Vick was making nice crisp throws right on line, hitting Jackson in
his
stride.
Sidearm flick with the wrist.
Deshaun Jackson was the Deshaun Jackson of old. Though,
he was.
last night.
He only had 2 touchdowns last year, and he was off to a great start this year.
I mean, personally, obviously, we don't like him as Giants fans because he likes to show off, and he was getting into a D'Angelo Hall.
Also, that little punt return.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the most infamous plays in recent NFL lore.
Yeah. Not as famous as that helmet catch, but you know what I'm talking
You're the
about.
second straight radio show to bring that catch up. You're the second straight radio show.
Not as famous as the helmet catch.
I will not deny that.
But Jackson, though, I mean, he was that was the Deshaun Jack that scares defenses last night.
Yep.
And he's doing this with Riley Cooper on the other side, so obviously he's a marked man. But McCoy was the LaShawn McCoy that is in the best running back in the NFL conversation.
The ball. I never understood why last year they stopped giving him the ball so much. He's such a dynamic player.
Andy Reid was never a running back guy, though.
But LaShawn McCoy is so talented. He has some of the best juke moves in the NFL. I think how fast he was.
I think he's the best at making the cuts. Even better than Peterson. Peterson's better at hitting the hole and bursting. He's the best in the business.
If you give McCoy an open field, I think him and Reggie Bush are the best 2 running backs in open field one-on-one tackles.
McCoy cuts. McCoy is guaranteed to make a cut, I think.
He had that one run yesterday where he jumped backwards 2 yards and cut off someone that ran to the corner of the end zone. It was nuts.
The touchdown, obviously, where he was zigzagging. It seemed like. They're scary, honestly. If their defense can hold their own, they have a legitimate chance of winning the division.
Again, the NFC East, I think, is going to be. Well, it's not the best division in football, but it's going to be the most competitive.
It historically always is, though.
It's because all teams can beat each other.
It always comes down to the end.
Yep.
And they all hate each other so much. They all hate each other so much in the NFC East that. Even though, say last year, Philadelphia wasn't as good as other teams, they came to play though.
Oh yeah,
them.
of course.
I mean, obviously they didn't come to play in the Week 17 against the Giants. I wish they didn't come to play against the one where Lawrence Tynes was the field goal against them.
Yeah,
we all know it. It just happens in the NFL.
It's the way it is. I mean, Week 1 there were so many storylines, so many great stories.
But Chip Kelly, he's looking right now though like he's legit. You see him on the line. He was he was yelling into that microphone like. He was like, do this, do that, do this, do that.
He wanted the win, and I mean, I love the signs they make because every year, every game, they come up with new Rocky Balboa or some random ESPN analyst, and this means this. You have no idea what it means. You're just intrigued.
Those are his signs at Oregon.
Yeah, exactly. It's absolutely crazy.
I think with Kelly though, just to finish off on Kelly. People were saying, they're questioning whether his offense could work in the NFL, because it was college and everything. We got to remember, these are professionals.
Yeah.
So they're going to be better than these kids at Oregon who run this system. They're going to be better at it than those.
They'll be able to make adjustments on the field that college kids couldn't.
Yeah, they can run. Any pro can run a better system than a college kid at Oregon.
All right. Well, we move to college football. It's time to segue. It's time to segue to possibly the biggest game of the college football season, and it's happening in Week 3. Texas A&M, Alabama, at Texas A&M. Your take right now.
I thought you were going to say Notre Dame at Purdue.
Side note, how is that the 8 o'clock primetime game on NBC?
Notre Dame, no, it's ABC actually. Contract.
How?
Notre Dame has national TV contracts, so.
Which is ridiculous.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely not.
I hate Notre Dame. Boston College is better Christians. We're 2-0 atop the ACC, boy.
I like Boston College.
End the season now. Yes.
And they play each other later in the year, right?
I don't think they do this year.
Really? Well, the one good thing the one good thing I took away of Notre Dame signing that stupid 5-team ACC contract.
Yeah.
Stupid, I thought, honestly, was they get to keep the rivalry with Boston College.
That's true.
That
true.
Was dumb, though, I thought.
I agree. If you're going to do that, why not join the ACC? Why not? You're literally the only team that's not joining a division.
For Notre Dame, it just... honestly, they have like so many like rivals and everything. Like, first off, I can't stand like the thought of this, but Brady Hoke was absolutely right when he said Notre Dame's chickening out of this rivalry.
I agree.
I understand why they picked Navy and USC to keep the rivalries, but why would they pick? I know they chose Stanford to keep that rivalry going, so they can play a game in California every year, whether it's USC or Stanford. But like, Michigan State over Michigan? Are you kidding me?
No, I agree.
It's Notre Dame and Michigan. It's like it's not Ohio State Michigan, but it's Notre Dame Michigan.
Yeah. Everyone knows that game.
Even if they're bad, people are going to watch the game.
Exactly.
So
no, I agree with you. I think Notre Dame is chicken.
Well, we'll talk about we should talk about that later but we should definitely get into the Alabama Texas A&M game though.
I mean it's honestly I think the best game of the college football season. College game day is going to be there. I think it's going to be nuts. It's going to be Nick Saban versus Johnny Manziel, the playmaker versus the best coach in college football. I've talked to my friends, and they think Alabama's going to win just because Nick Saban has had this game marked down on his calendar ever since they lost last year, and he's been game planning for it every day since. But part of me just really thinks that Johnny Manziel is going to shut up every single critic who's ever turned him wrong and bring in the game of his life. And I think Texas A&M has a shot to win this game on Saturday.
I think they have a shot. Just because of the way Manziel played against him last year, and he's got the home crowd behind him this time.
Yep.
But I can't go against if this was against any other team in the country besides Alabama. I'd pick Texas A&M. It's Alabama though. I wouldn't want to play Alabama when they don't have a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah.
When you add that chip on their shoulder, I really don't want to play them then. No matter who they lose or they're Alabama. Kirby Smart is the best defensive coach in football. In college football, excuse me.
Okay, I agree. Yep, that's fine.
I mean, people knew who Manziel was when that Bama game came around this time. I'm sure Smart probably studied all offseason for, like, Manziel.
That's the thing. This is a game. Part of me will say this game means more to Alabama than, like, the BCS championship game. Just because this is a team that just it tore them apart last year.
I mean, Ryan Swolt making great catches and everything, even though he's no longer with Texas A&M. But I mean, the only thing I think really they have Manziel, but they got Kyle Field behind them. Though. I think people don't realize how people know they say the 12th man. I think it's going to be showcased just how tough it is to play Texas A&M. Like it'll finally be like get the national recognition how tough it is to play there.
I mean, I like Johnny Manziel, and I like his showboatness, and I don't know if it's me as a college kid, but I appreciate him going to all the critics and being, you know what, money, and I'll sign autographs for you.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me.
I love it. Yeah. I love it. And I think that if he wins this game, I honestly think if he wins this game, it'll force him to mature, even though if the Heisman didn't. I think this game, because if you beat Alabama twice, you are, especially in the past, 5 years or so.
He's going to even have more of an attention.
Yeah, he'll have more of an attention, and I think the coaches just be like, if you don't smarten up right now, you're ruining your NFL career. Because teams are already saying he's too small to play quarterback in the NFL.
I don't agree with that at all.
I mean, he's smaller than Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is having a successful career.
Nah, he's actually taller than Russell Wilson. He's only 15 pounds lighter than RG3. RG3's 6'2", 220. I thought 6'1", 205.
I mean, I thought he was a lot shorter than 6'1".
Well, he's listed as 6'1". I mean, he's probably 5'10 and a half, maybe. Who knows, but.
I mean, it's the biggest game of the week, and everyone's going to be watching. It's on CBS at 3:30. If you're not watching and you're a football fan, you're doing something wrong.
You know what? I'm going to this place called Sweet Potatoes.
As 6'1". Wow.
As a homage to this great Southeastern Conference, even though Texas is in the Southwest, as a tribute to this great Southern matchup that we are having, and watching this game, watching every second of it. Unless it's a blowout, which it's not. It's going to be a great game.
It's going to be a good game. Either way, it's going to be a good game.
You know what? If Texas A&M wins, though, prepare for Kevin Sumlin to not be at Texas A&M next year.
Oh, he won't be. He'll be somewhere.
He will be at some USC next year. If Brian Kelly boats to the pros, he'll be at He can say, he wins this game. He can maybe lose 2 or 3 more games. This guy will not be at Texas A&M.
He'll just put on top. He
may even go to the NFL.
I mean, his resume will be, I beat Alabama twice. Here's the resume. Yeah. That's it. That's all he needs to put on it. I mean, and speaking of USC, Lane Kiffin is gone after this year, I think, already. You lost to Washington State.
I would have fired him after this game. I don't even know why they haven't fired him yet. He's controversial. And Pat Hayden, I like Pat Hayden because he used to be a Notre Dame commentator, now he's the AD. And he was a Rhodes Scholar. How he hasn't fired him yet, I have no idea.
You also watched. They had 2 wins last year. Washington State. Boston College is playing USC this weekend. I think Boston College has a shot of winning.
But USC, all the guys that they have that they can hire, though, you can maybe even hire a guy like Jeff Fisher away from St. Louis.
Oh, you could with the
'Cause he's a
resources that
USC
USC
guy.
has.
Yeah, you can hire an NFL coach. You can hire Jack Del Rio, who I believe is a USC guy.
Mm-hmm.
Hire so many guys who they can make just.
Lovie
NFL
Smith's looking for a job. He'd go to USC in a heartbeat.
Oh, Lovie Smith is a great NFL coach.
I still don't know why he was fired. Still don't know.
I think maybe they did need a change there. I mean,
They won 10 games. How do you fire a coach who won 10 games?
they may have needed a change though. So I mean, they fired the San Diego fired.
They need to change with Jay Cutler.
San Diego.
That's what
San
they need
Diego
to change
fired.
of.
San Diego fired Marty Schottenheimer after 14 wins.
Well, that's just idiotic.
I mean, well, they lost to your Patriots in the playoffs that year, but John's like doing it wasn't the funky chicken or something.
No.
Just raising the roof or something like that.
I don't know.
No, but you know what? If I was USC, I would jump on Lovie Smith, but you wouldn't know if Lovie Smith would be there for a long
Yeah.
time because he may get an NFL job. So
I mean, USC, I like them when Reggie Bush was there just because they were so much fun to watch.
they were fun to watch. But I mean, obviously, I wasn't a fan because they would be
Exactly.
Notre Dame, you know. But
Yeah.
they were very fun to watch. But just a big part does feel tainted now, knowing because
Exactly. Now, the thing is, like, it feels like every coach who goes to USC is tainted with something. Lane Kiffin was a coach in Oakland Raiders. I don't know how he got that one. I mean,
Because Al Day, I mean, God rest his soul. Obviously,
Yeah.
he was just crazy by the time.
he was. You can't overstate how important he was in the NFL, Al Davis. But
Oh, absolutely not. But he was just nuts.
yeah, he was absolutely crazy. USC, they're out of the top 25. I think that I forget who's the coach of Texas, and I can't remember his
Mac
name.
Brown.
Mac Brown. I think that they both might be gone at the end of this year.
You know, Mac Brown. Texas people love Mac Brown though. So
But they haven't been good in a couple years.
they really haven't. I mean, but the only thing is, do you think they can get Will Muschamp though from Florida? Remember he was the coach in waiting, but
That's
then
true.
he left for Florida, which he turned Tennessee down to stay at Texas.
And Florida just lost to Miami. That's a bad loss.
Yeah. But put it this way, Tennessee, that's a good job,
Mhm.
and he turned that down. But
Yeah.
you don't turn down Florida.
No, oh God,
Florida's a
Florida
job you don't turn down.
Yeah.
But turning down a job like Tennessee to stay at Texas, like Tennessee is a prestigious program. That's a good job. So the fact that if they can get a guy like Muschamp, I mean, someone will not leave A&M for Texas. I don't think he'll do that.
Oh no! He's made Texas A&M the place that it is now. It's his baby until he gets a dream job.
And A&M still is rivals with Texas, as noted by Johnny Manziel getting kicked out of a Texas fraternity party.
That's right.
So, but I'm going with them in this game, in the Texas A&M game. I'm gonna pull up the other games in college football this weekend. Preview some other games that we have.
Well, we got Boston College at USC on the Pac-12 network at 3 p.m. and Boston College has a shot of winning because
Chase Reddick's from Southern California, so
Chase Reddick played well last week. The defense shut down Wake Forest in their run game. USC, how many combined points have they scored so far this season? They scored 30 points against Hawaii, and then they scored 7 points against Washington State. I cannot overestimate
Cody
how
Kessler was just
bad
named
that loss was to Washington
Cody
State.
Kessler was just named the starter officially for the year. So
I mean, that USC Stanford game, November 16th, is going to be one of the worst demolishes USC's had in years.
Stanford has beaten USC 4 years in a row, and with how bad Stanford was earlier in this decade, I would have never thought that was possible compared to how good USC was.
Jim Harbaugh turned it around.
Yeah, and David Shaw is just picking up.
And when you have Andrew Luck at quarterback, it also does
we
something.
we have some other interesting games. We have UCLA at Nebraska.
That's true.
It's a good game.
The Cornhuskers.
They love their football in Nebraska.
They
though.
do. They
That
do.
is their team.
Also, I'm glad USC is good at football. USC is getting good in athletics. They're going to be good in basketball. They're decent, and they're good in football now too.
No really like top-notch games besides the Alabama Texas A&M game. Obviously Notre Dame Purdue was obviously top-notch. That you got. And when I'm looking at this schedule here, though, I understand why Notre Dame is the 8 o'clock game.
I'm looking at this now. It's like, wow,
I actually understand why it is the 8 o'clock game.
Not many options you can go with.
I mean, Tennessee and Oregon that's a prestigious program against Oregon,
Yeah.
number 2 team in the country. Like Oregon in that game, obviously. Florida at Colin Kaepernick's alma mater, Nevada.
I mean,
Like Florida State, obviously. But Arkansas, Michigan, that should be a decent game.
Ole Miss, Texas might be a decent game if Texas wants to rebound for once.
Did you? I didn't ask you this, but did you watch Michigan and Notre Dame this past Saturday?
I did. I turned on the second half.
I was blown away with Devin Gardner. I really was.
Yes, Devin Gardner wearing number 98, special ceremony. I don't remember what
For Tom Harmon, father of Mark Harmon.
Yes, okay.
NCIS, star of NCIS,
Yep.
and former UCLA quarterback.
Well, look at that. Kevin Barnett, a man of many words.
He was also on College Game Day.
Was he on College Game Day?
Yeah,
I didn't watch College Game Day.
It was awesome because they were asking him to pick and everything. Like they make his picks, and he just said a one-word pick like 2 times, like one team pick. He was like Texas or like Florida, and he was just they were like Chris Fowler was like, "You're the king of the one-word picks, aren't you?" All he was saying is just like,
yeah.
It's like, so who do you like? And he obviously had to say Michigan.
Yeah.
He was like Michigan. He ended it like that, but I remember Corso's 0 for 2 now. He picked Notre Dame to win, and they booed him so hard.
I mean, well, I love Lee Corso. I adore him.
He likes Notre Dame, so I like him. He picked Notre Dame to beat Alabama last year. So.
I don't know if did you watch Game Day last year when Will Ferrell was on?
I did not.
And he beat Lee Corso with his own head. Will Ferrell, the comedian, got a big head of Lee Corso and put it on. And like they disagreed on the pick because they were playing USC. It was a USC game.
Yeah, USC for Ferrell, USC alumni.
Yeah. And Lee Corso didn't pick USC, and Will Ferrell just goes beating him with
Lee
his
Corso's
own head.
been on the road twice. Lee Corso's picked the road team both times this year. Game.
Well, I think that's not smart, and I think he's gonna pick the home team, pick Texas A&M to beat Alabama.
Yeah, he goes over 3, man. How he's still because they're so passionate about these places.
Yeah.
And Clemson, and South Carolina is not a big. It's a huge football state. They don't have many pro teams, so you have South Carolina and Clemson. So, but then you have Michigan. Michigan is huge in Ann Arbor. So,
also, fun fact: if you want to see a really funny video, there's a Bleacher Report video of a Clemson fan went out for a week for a birthday with his girlfriend. His friends decorated the room University of South Carolina colors, the Gamecocks. And the reaction that the Clemson fan got when he got back, it's not safe for work, it's not safe for children, but it is really, really funny.
Oh, man. Of course,
Can you imagine if someone went into your room when you were away and changed it all to, like, New York Jets? Or, like, to the Eagles?
I wouldn't like that, Avi. I wouldn't be appreciative.
You wouldn't live in that room.
Or the Yankees.
or the Yankees, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. But no, I think Corso's going to pick Alabama because I think he picked Alabama last year, and they picked Notre Dame last year against Alabama, and that didn't work out very well. For
No,
them,
it didn't. No, it didn't.
And they don't get Alabama. I mean, yeah, they go to these places for game day and everything, but CBS covers the SEC for the most part. So
yeah, CBS is going to score a gold mine with this Alabama.
You know what's funny is CBS. All they do is SEC games, and they do the Army Navy game, and they do the Notre Dame Navy game when it's Navy at home. I love Vern Lundquist and Gary Danielson. I think is the smartest college football analyst. Have you when you listen to Gary Danielson's color commentary?
Yeah, he is very good.
He's very good. I think I like Herbstreit, but
I love Brent Musburger and Kurt Herbstreit. They're one of my favorite duos to listen
Musburger. Musburger. He got so much heat for that AJ McCarron's girlfriend. I personally thought he said nothing wrong.
I would have gone nuts too. Okay, I would have gone nuts too.
I mean. Musburger, he's just a good Wyoming. Is he Wyoming or Montana?
I don't even know, but I love him.
He's got a good heart and
Did
everything.
you see the Eminem interview though with the Notre Dame Michigan game?
I mean, see, the thing was, I was at my friend's place, so we didn't have the volume on. People were talking during it, so we were all talking. So
picture the most awkward interview ever times 10, and you got that Eminem Brent Musburger interview.
Well, yeah, Musburger's a fun outgoing. Eminem is just very reserved, has the tough guy demeanor.
Eminem just had like a zoned out face, just like It was just. Oh God!
Yeah, I don't think he knows a lot about college football either. I'm sure.
And Brent Musburger introduced like a rap video. It should never happen again.
Yeah,
just should not happen.
I'm a fan of Musburger though, but my favorite duo is Lundquist and not Henrik Lundquist, Vern Lundquist.
Yeah.
And even though I do love Henrik, Vern Lundquist and Gary Danielson. I think Danielson is just the smartest guy when it comes to college football analysis and everything. So. Because college football, even though you can say they're good analysts, college football still is different from the NFL as they do more trick plays and they do more tricky offenses.
Yeah.
You realize in college football now they're doing so many of the 2-point conversions, like where they start out with guys on the other side of the field.
And then they either bring them in or
Yeah, and they bring them in if they realize the defense has a cover.
I think they're overthinking it too much now.
Yeah, but if they were smart though, they would just have a center. If a defense is smart, they would just do like 4, 4, and 3 on one side maybe, because I think that's how they should do it. But
that's why we're not coaching.
Yeah, exactly. So
that's why we're not coaching.